Hey Group 6, this is Mike, and this is my journal video for The Secret Life of Groceries, intro and chapter 1. Uh, when talking about paperboard and what a technological revolution it was, I really hadn't considered it as a technological revolution before this reading, but I can see how not just its creation but its implications have affected our food systems and grocery stores. Beyond the benefits outlined on page 26 of paperboard being lightweight, rigid, and above all cheap, it was a precursor to the branding of goods, which I think was the bigger implication. Uh, those goods had previously only been sold in anonymous bulk, according to page 27. Uh, the impact of the cheap, lightweight branded goods was that customers could shop and decide for themselves rather than negotiate with a clerk and have the items behind the counter. And shopping in grocery stores became an act of personal discernment, and the brand of the product you bought became a reflection of the brand and identity of you. I know that I was raised in a low socioeconomic family, but my parents always tried to put me in good schools, so my friends were usually a little higher than me, and even as kids, they knew what RC Cola meant. They could peg us right away just off the brands we bought. And so that's how powerful branding is, something that even kids can recognize. Uh, when we talk about drivers of changing consumer preferences in the 20th century, I listed out three main ones. Technological. The spread of refrigeration and other technologies affected the ice and dairy industry, completely turning them on their heads. Canning and paperboard changed how we stored, sold, and purchased food. Automation lowered prices, even if it wasn't always ethical, such as killing 140 birds a minute. Roads and transportation changed how far food could travel and how far people could travel, which leads to the second driving change, urbanization. This removed people from agricultural production, removed them from the production and manufacturing of food, and increase the need for cheaper, longer lasting food. And the third one absolutely has to be price and convenience. I think those were the two driving preferences of the 20th century on a personal level. We would only pay a premium for convenience. I mean, some people would pay for quality, but I think the average consumer would pay for convenience more than anything else. That's why we buy fast food junk, because not because it's healthy, not because it tastes good, not because it's cheap even now, just because it's convenient. We're willing to pay premiums across the board just for convenience. And price. A hallmark of the 20th century is that consumers constantly pressured producers to reduce prices at every opportunity without consideration to ethics or food quality or any of that. We really just wanted the best deal we could get. The 21st century drivers of consumer preference for groceries, I hope, will be ethical considerations, global awareness of wages, child labor, slave labor, taking advantage of third world countries, and sustainability issues. I think that people want to feel good about the products they purchase, and moving forward, we won't want to pay a premium for convenience. Hopefully, we'll want to pay a premium for ethical products. Uh, Again, when it comes to paying premiums, health and nutrition. Rather than paying for something that has a long shelf life, I see consumers rather buy perishable food that is healthier and more nutritious, less preservatives. We may have to go to the store more, we may have to pay more for it, but if we know that it's healthier than the stuff we've been eating before, we're good with that. I hope that trend continues. And the third one would be sustainability, which is why we're here. And that leads to the supplemental reading. I was reading Designing a Sustainable Diet. I really enjoyed this because it brought some issues that I hadn't really considered to the forefront. When industry is pushing back on sustainability, I can see why when we talk about fear of regulation and steps towards a ban, as happened with trans fats. That makes sense why industry wouldn't want government picking winners and losers based off of what I'm sure they feel are arbitrary measures and metrics, even though sustainability really does need to be a goal. Uh, on top of that, seeing that nutrition and sustainability sometimes can run counter to each other when recommendations of eating 2 portions of fish per week. Fish is healthy. It's a leaner meat with great omega fatty acids in it. But fishing does have sustainability issues, so I can see how those two come to a head. Which one wins out? Should sustainability win, or should the health preferences win? So I see that the conversation is more nuanced than I originally thought. Uh, but I did see that exponential growth in the sale of organic, local, and sustainably harvested seafood suggests an appetite for sustainably produced food. So I really feel hopeful about the future and what it brings. But I've running over time. It was great talking to you all. I'll see you all next week.